Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Flow. Katie, just in case Luis didn't tell us, raise your hand. Okay, just in case. I'm recording, so I hope you are too.
Okay, good. I am.
Guys, we are back. It seems like it's been forever, but it's not that long. But it just goes to show you how often when you do this all the time, which is why I'm always saying just get consistent because then you'll actually start to miss it. I missed the fact that we haven't done this in like a week and a half, and especially after Christine left us with such energy. It's
It's
like
true.
how do you
It's
leave how do
true.
you leave that open for 2 weeks? So let's go. Luckily, we got to hang out with her last week, but let's go. This is going to be fun. Kate, what's the party today?
Oh my gosh. Well, we have an awesome guest on who I met through a mutual friend, Jenny Wright, who is an incredible lead generator in her own right. But Connie's going to be here today to talk to us all about monetization and how to actually monetize your podcast, how to grow, how to make money at all of this. So I'm excited because it's a topic I know everyone has questions about. So we've been talking about it a bunch lately. So more expert minds make the whole thing better for sure.
There you go. There you go. Okay, so without further ado, hey Connie.
Hey, Connie.
Hello. Thank you for
Welcome to
having
the
me.
show. Of course. Of course. Such a pleasure.
Oh my God, there's so many things to do, so many things to start with, but I'm curious. Don't ask me why, but this is my thing right now. What TV show are you watching, or do you not watch TV?
But wait, first, let's
Me?
talk TV. Yeah, go
Yeah,
for it.
you.
Okay. So I feel like I'm a little behind there. I just started watching The Mandalorian. And oh my God,
Perfect.
Baby Yoda, will you the hair?
Perfect. I'm always in the past when it comes to TV, Connie. So you're in a safe space here.
Yes.
There you go. Doc is ready.
Yeah. I know
Doc
I'm
is
This
way
is the
ready.
behind on
way.
this one, but I'm very happy that I'm finally there as well.
Oh well,
Oh, that's good. That's good.
it's
Okay,
summer
I just
mode.
wanted to make
Yeah.
you. I just wanted to make you not nervous to do this. So let's go. Now we're on
I am a
Mandalorian.
real
Just
human.
yeah, you're good. You're good. This is the way.
I have
Oh,
spoken.
yeah, Connie has spoken. Connie is ready. All right. Well, I realize now that I didn't give a proper intro, but so I'll let you take it, Connie. Can you give a little bit of
Okay.
background on who you are? Because you're new to the Ecamm fam and new to the Flow Riders. And
Yes.
I know we're talking monetization today, but yeah, I want to give a little bit of background on who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. Thank you, Katie. So, Connie Twomey, I do social media marketing, and I always say there are two sides of my business. There's the one side that is strictly online, where I help people monetize their hobbies, their passions, their gifts. And this is really anything from frosting to fly fishing to fitness to, I mean, you name, right? I mean, we're laughing about these things, but
That's
you can
perfect.
make a boatload of money with that. And then the other side of my business is that I actually help local businesses, and it's not just local, but it's anywhere with their content creation on like, what should you put out there? How can you do that? What's a landing page and what's a website? How should you use one or the other? And I help businesses understand that because in the end, your social media, I always say, is your best resume that you curate yourself, right? You create the before and after. Like this is really popular for anything from home remodel to hairstylist to fitness. And your social media is an asset. If you're a company and you have a really good social media presence, that's an asset. Like you can sell your company for more if your social media actually makes sense.
This
Absolutely.
is very true. Wow, that's awesome. All right,
Uh,
I'm even more excited now.
I laugh because our customers are in the same kind of wealth of crazy industries from across the board. So I think it's a perfect fit having you on because the question that goes through all of it is, how can I make this more profitable for myself? What are the different things that you can do? So uh, I have a first question. So how do you define profitable content in today's social media landscape? So what does that actually look like for people?
So I feel like that's a loaded question, first of all,
Sorry.
because profitable, no, you're good. Profitable content can be anything and everything as long as you are speaking to your ideal client and your audience. Because typically, what your content should do is either attract the right person, but also repel the ones that you don't want. Because
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, like, if you talk to everyone or you want to talk to everyone, you're literally talking to no one. Like, be polarizing, be stand for what you are and who you are and what you believe in. Like, just make that known. And yes, you will piss off people. And Aunt Karen and Susan and Debbie and the neighbor across the street is gonna hate you for it. But the right person will find you and be like, oh my God, this is what I've been looking for.
Oh, you were speaking
Listen,
duck's
now
language.
she's singing. She's singing my language all the time. I think one of the not funny, but this comment comes up so much. I just made a video about it recently. About, well, what do you do when somebody says something like really negative in the comments? Perfect. Now you know that that person is not your person,
Mhm.
right? And I always say, if your customer is everybody, your customer is nobody. And I think the thing about social media in general is everyone assumes that more is better.
Mhm.
And as I don't think that's the case because we've seen so
No.
many people with large followings not able to either sell from it or pivot.
Yeah.
And what I mean by pivot is, what if you grow beyond the thing that you've been talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and you decide you want to
Nice.
do something else?
Yeah.
Now, who's coming with you? That's the what's it? Not Jerry Springer, Jerry Maguire. I
Yeah.
want to know who's coming with me.
Exactly. Just you and the fish, right? Just you and the fish.
Well, and well, or half baked if you like Dave Chappelle better.
No, but it's so true because in the end, it's like, okay, you will very quickly figure out who's there for you, who's celebrating your successes with you, who is becoming envious, who doesn't like it, who is triggered by it. And I've had quite a few situations where that has happened, where my content triggered the heck out of people. It's okay. There was a time when I would have cared about it. And at this point, I'm like, thank you for letting me know that that triggers you. And I know where we stand now. And I can just live my life moving forward because on this side of the screen, everything's fine. Like whatever's going on your side probably needs some attention.
Oh, God. People, I hope you guys are hearing this. It's never really about you when they come at you. It's about them. Um,
Yes.
it's super funny. I was just talking about like having people come at you for like the way you do something or the equipment that you use. I kind of want to pull the manual out of the page and publish it on the screen and be like, "No, dude, you're completely wrong." It's so funny. It's so funny. Okay, so I guess what is it about, say, social media and monetization? Like, where are people getting stuck, or what is the disconnect when it comes to that? Because we like to make sure that people
Mhm.
can find a way to actionably do the things we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I get that. And I'm huge on educating people on how to actually do that because, first of all, the number of followers that you have is not always an indicator of a content or a creator's income because that can be completely disconnected. Like, there are some people that do this extremely well. They know how to find the right messaging, how to make the right offers, how to have the right products and services. And then there's some, they're just posting for the likes, the shares, the giggles, but they haven't tapped into how they can actually serve the people that are following them. And yes, I get it. We do social media once in a while for the cat videos, the mindless scrolling and everything. But once you realize that you can actually make money with it, like it's a whole different level. And so the way I always describe it is, let's go with a passion, a hobby, right? If you are really good at something and everyone around you knows that you are known for, let's go with the example of baking. If everyone knows that you're really good at that and you have maybe the recipes, maybe the way you knead the dough or whatever it is there, right? If everyone knows that you're really good at it, then you are the expert. First of all, like you don't need to be like the expert of the experts, right? You don't need to be the Marie Curie or whatever her name is. You just need to be 10% better than your neighbor, and you're already an expert because you can actually talk about that stuff passionately for probably half an hour or an hour without getting bored and without running out of information. And
Mm-hmm.
so you already have the knowledge. So then there are two ways. I always say you want to have a landing page. A landing page is literally as the word says, right? There's a difference between a website and landing page. Website is your full on mega, it's the about us, our services, our what's my underwear, and there's everything and then some on there, right? And that's what some people want to know. But on a landing page, you land there. And it's something like, hey, the 5 best ways to knead the dough and actually have that bread rise. Okay, if I'm someone that's into baking bread, then I want that freebie. So in return, then you get their first name, last name, email address, maybe even their phone number if that's something you want. And you now have a lead. You have generated a lead. So from there, a lot of times when I look at other people's landing pages and thank you pages, the next page is the thank you. This will be in your email. Check it. Okay, but you're missing out right there. Right then and there is where you're missing out. If your next page after they opted in is but wait, do you want the actual recipe to make that dough, to make this bread? It's just 17 bucks. Let's add it on and grab it as well. So then you have an upsell, but with that upsell, you are already 30 to 50% more likely to actually create a sale just because that person that already grabbed your freebie, they already got over the hurdle of like, okay, who is this person? Do I know them? Do I like them? So then they are likely to actually grab that. And that's a way to start that whole cycle. So then now you have the email address. You can market with them or keep them in the loop about maybe upcoming events, products, offers, so much. And then you integrate affiliate marketing, and that's where it gets really interesting too.
I love that you say this because I definitely am like
I
noticing
know
this
there's a lot.
more. No, it's great. I think I'm noticing more and more even in my own like personal habits. So I've been getting more and more into crocheting, which Doc makes fun of me for all the time, enthusiastically makes fun of me for. But I've been noticing that like I have seen that flow a number of times where it's like, okay, I want to be able to make, I don't know, crocheted flowers. And so I've looked up a
Yeah.
video for it. And I'm like, okay, like the video is great, but I like, now that I've seen the video a couple times, I think I know how to do it. I just want the pattern. And then they have the free pattern they'll email to you, but it's got like ads and other stuff in it. So you can't print it easily or have it. And then it's like $6 to buy the pattern. And so once you've kind of gone through like the video and then you're trying to just make the thing and it's a little bit complicated, $6 or $7 doesn't seem like that big of a deal. And so you're
Mhm.
happy to pay. And then you're getting their emails, you have the pattern, you've made it, like so it is a really nice flow, and it should be really easy, quote unquote, for podcasters to be able to do that because you are creating regular content. And so there are so many aspects of whatever you're podcasting about or creating video about that you could pull to make these kinds of things. Like I know we have a ton even just with this show, right? We have a free course, which is our lead gen. The course talks about eCam, which is our upsell. So we have, that path that makes it easy for people. But sometimes I think we miss that because we're so worried about the ask or about being overly salesy that we're missing that we're actually helping people create
Mhm.
what they want to do. And if it's the right audience and we've created an easy path through a landing page, then
Yes.
it's not that big of a deal. Feels like it. Feels like it.
I just came upon conversation with some different creators, and they were adamant about like overexposing themselves, not like that, Matt, to to their customers. And the person who's setting them straight was like, "Well, how arrogant of that is you to think that?" And they go, "What do you mean? We're trying to protect our people from like hearing too much of us." And it's them like, you're assuming that of your 50,000 followers, that all 50,000 of them are seeing every single thing that you drip, and there's maybe 2% of your followers that is that adamant. Marianne being one of ours. Other than that,
We see, man.
no, like a lot of people are going to miss it. And how do we know this? We finished a 3-day workshop that we talked about for a month, promoted for a month, and then last week before the event, hammered the email to the point where we thought we were being obnoxious. Somebody signs up for it like hours after we done. Like we're done getting ready to go eat. And it's like, hey, okay, I'm ready. Well, no, you're not. We're done. Well,
But
I
we
just
had
heard
the
about
all
it.
access pass, so we're
Yeah,
done
yeah.
for
So you
that
can still get
person.
it. By the way, if you missed it, you can get it. See, I'm doing what Connie said. If
Yeah.
you
Yes.
missed it, you can get the all access pass. But it's really crazy that people think that they're overexposing, and it's like they will tell you if you're too much.
Yep.
And don't go to the first day. You need 5 or 6 days before you freak out. Don't let one person tell you, because that person just might be Kathy and just be having a day. Sorry, Kathy. But, yeah, you want to just keep putting it out there, because you never, and the people that really love you, they're happy for it. Like, you have a
Hmm.
friend who you can't wait to see, and every time it's time to go, you're like, man, I can't believe it's time to go already. Katie. That's called brown nosing people. In case you don't know, she's my boss.
No, but you're absolutely right, right? I mean, first of all, every time you assume something, like that's coming back to you. You are assuming that you are doing something that may bother someone else, and the chances of
Yeah.
that actually happening pretty low. And as you
Yeah.
said, right? I mean, the people that want to see it, they know it. They already put it in your calendar, in their calendar. And okay, maybe they get 5 more email reminders, but they will already be there and they have the option to just ignore those emails. Whereas the others may need 8 to 12 reminders
Yeah.
or more to actually hit that button and do the thing.
Dude,
How
I
do you
like the way you
find
cleaned that up when you assume,
yeah.
you put that on you. I really like how you cleaned it up, Connie. Real good. Thanks.
We all know what we're thinking.
We
We all know
know
what you're
what you
thinking.
meant.
How do you approach or think about balancing out your content on social media? Because social media, I think, is a little it is different than email marketing or landing pages, where I think you can
Mhm.
be a little bit more repetitive in an email situation, whereas on social media, there's part of it is you're playing to the people, part of it is you're playing to the platform itself. So how do you
So when you
approach
say balancing out, what are you looking for?
how do
What
you
do
go
you
about
want to?
balancing out your content? So say, the majority of people who are watching this show are, podcasters or people who are getting into podcasting. And so they have regular content that they are obviously trying to get people back to. And some portion of that content hopefully includes some form of monetization, whether that's they're looking for, sponsors, or they're looking for people to buy as a result of their podcast, or they're like us and they're, hoping that spending more time with their audience will just keep them top of mind. As far as like tools and services go. So how do you approach getting your content out onto social media in a way that's not buy my product, buy my product, buy my
Yeah,
product, check out my
yeah, yeah.
sponsor, check out my
Because nobody likes that,
because
right? If
nobody
if
likes
every
that,
one of
right?
your
So
posts is
yeah,
a sales post, that becomes icky at some point.
yeah.
I'd say there's a balance between educational content, because I
Mm-hmm.
mean, in the end, you still want to position yourself as the expert, right? If you're talking about something, we're on this podcast here right now. Like, I'm not here to sell, sell, sell. I'm here to educate around, who am I? What are we doing? Like, who is this even for? And how can you use social media to create an income? Okay, so then you educate. Maybe at some point you want to have something relatable in there, right? Where you know or at least, first of all, you should know your audience. Maybe let's start there. You should know who your audience is, what your
Mm-hmm.
clients are, what are their interests, what are their needs, what do they struggle with, what kind of problems they have. Do they like coffee? Do they like orange juice, right? And you can literally find those things out by even putting that in your stories and say, hey, enjoying my morning latte. Do you do that too, right? You can figure out what they like and what they don't like, and then you can, so to say, speak their language. So you create that know, love, and trust factor with them. And then, yeah, once in a while, you can have a more salesy post in there, but I would honestly stay away a little bit from that and just say, hey, if you're interested in that, maybe check out my link in bio. Or maybe if you agree with this, drop a heart, like bring engagement to the table, bring something that they can resonate with. Or you can always drop one of those create a reel and then share it with a friend or share it with
Mm-hmm.
that podcaster that has this problem as well. Something that speaks to them, so that you truly engage with them and you capture their attention so that actually, like makes sense. And we're not just posting the same over and over and over.
Absolutely.
Like it. Like it. All right. So here's a good one. What makes your clip, or this is a common question that came up during Leap. Like, I'm posting this stuff and nobody's watching. So I'm wondering if you have a nicer answer than mine. which is it's not
I
good.
mean, the question is like,
It's
who's nobody, right? Because
yeah,
I feel like in a time of social media where everyone is so obsessed with the view count and the likes and the shares and whatnot, yes, in one way you want to keep track of that in your analytics. But if you tell me that, oh my God, only 200 people watched my reel, boo-hoo, it's like, okay, like when was the last time that you sat on your couch at home and talked to 200 people around the world? Like in your bathroom, probably, right? Like that's 400 eyeballs that literally looked at your content. So you can't tell me that it's not being watched. Like maybe you need to tweak something. Maybe there is something that needs to be different. But also keep in mind, like, what's the time that you're actually looking at the view count? Is this like an hour later? Are we the person that's like, oh my God, I created something. Where is it? Did everybody like it yet? Right? I mean, are we checking every 5 minutes or do you check a week later and that thing's actually growing? Um, yeah,
I
just
love that.
just
I love. I thank you for
detach.
validating that because I was like, what happens if 200 people came to your living room? Like that's exactly. I love that
That's a
one so
party.
much. I think it would freak people out, right?
Yeah.
And well, it's also a little bit mean to think that those 200 people don't count.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
Especially you're trying to build an audience. The first thing you don't want to do is not value the ones that you have because they will
Yes.
pick up on it. Really, sooner or later they'll pick up on it. We've all been there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, I love what you just said there because, if 200 people literally watch that, and let's say out of those 200, 20 are extremely interested,
Yeah.
that's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we
Phenomenal.
need to tell ourselves a different story when it comes to all of these vanity metrics. We all sort of have numbers in our head that are likely way higher than what they should be or need to be in order to be successful. Like there are people who are able to monetize really small audiences and be able
Yeah.
to do it in really like quote unquote small audiences and are able to do it in really incredible ways by, by really understanding who their audience is and by creating, offers and programs and things that are of value to their audience. So I think I love
Mhm.
that you've come at this from audience first, community first, because that's really
Yeah.
has been like the thread that has gone through everything that we've been hearing and talking about over the last year, 2 years, 5 years even has been we really need to like you need to understand like your goals and your goals need to include who are you trying to talk to who are you trying to connect with who are you trying to reach because without that
Yep.
information none of those numbers make any difference or will give you any accurate insight into where you stand.
Yep. Well,
yeah,
the other
and
part
well,
to that,
go ahead.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
The other part to
You're the
that
party
is
person.
too that, your social media front view is just the start, right? From there, there might be the messaging in your
Mhm.
DMs. There might be the captions that really reel them in. You still have their email, and how do you email market to them? So just to say that, oh, I only got 200 views, it honestly doesn't mean anything because if out of those 200, as I said, 20 sign up for your lead magnet, out of those 20, 10 buy maybe your upsell, it's a good day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
100%. So the other thing I think is important to realize, the window that we see for social media, like you say, now that it is interest driven and not follower driven, um, we don't really necessarily, depending on the platform, see how many followers people have for the post that you're posting, right? So as you scroll through the post, it's like, that was great, that was great, that was great, that was great. You might just be seeing the cream of the crop. However, that doesn't establish the people that are really on the platform, right? So, in other words, I'll pick IG because that's one where you don't get to instantly see where the followers are. If you go
Mhm.
through 100 posts, you assume that every one of those people have 40, 50,000 or more because they seem popular. But if you were to stop and open every one of those, you'll find many of those are 4 and 5,000 like yourself, or maybe even less. But also, you're not thinking about the posts that you aren't seeing because the interest graph is showing you what you're interested in. So
Mhm.
Katie opens hers up. There's going to be chickens, ducks, books, crochets, uh, old Canadian TV shows, and then content creation stuff. Right?
Mhm.
She's not going to see what I see, which is Japan whiskey, Japan whiskey, Japan whiskey, Japan whiskey, Manchester United, Netherlands national team, Hup Holland Hup, World Cup, things of that nature. That's basically all. Oh yeah, F1, right? I'm not going to see
Mhm.
anything else. So, considering that F1 And Premier League football, World Cup football is one of my favorite things. All of the people that post on that topic have millions of followers because that's the topic, right? But
Yep.
I'm not going to see posts from the Manchester United fan with 10. So I assume that I'm doing bad because I only have 6,000. No, you're not. You're only looking at a crust of the 2 billion people on IG.
Yeah.
So you are probably in the same exact line as everybody else who you think that are passing you. So, yeah, sorry.
No, completely agree, right? I mean, that's just the thing. And the algorithm shows you what you're interested in. It shows you what you maybe liked in the past. The moment you watch a reel for like more than 2 split seconds, then it's like, oh, she liked that. Oh, we should show her more of that. And all of a sudden your feed is filled with exactly that. And so that's where I think it's so important to have the mindset and have the right thoughts behind what you're posting, because I can easily compare myself to Alex Hermosi or to Russell Brunson and say, oh my God, I'm doing so bad. Like, it's not worth it. I should stop now. But first of all, like, what's their runway? When did they start? Like, how did they start? And I think, honestly, a great comparison here. And this is something that I've been hearing over and over from some of my customers in the area. They're like, oh, I want to be like Gary Vaynerchuk. Was like, do you really? Because do you know that Gary Vee 12 to 15 years ago posted 15 times about wine on Twitter and had like 1 likes out of those 15 posts? Do you know that he put in all that sweat equity and all that content? He has more than 10,000 posts out there on his Instagram. And yes, right now he's huge. But honestly, you don't want to be like him, because if you have a 15-year runway to get to where he is right now, okay, we can do that. We can get you there, but you probably want that a little quicker.
Yeah, yeah,
That's so
100%.
But he
true.
never stopped. And I think that's the more important part, right? Because so many times people try something, they want to dabble around a little bit, and they're like, oh, let me just do that for a little bit, make money quick. But it's like, no, we're not here for the quick get rich quick scheme, right? We're here to actually monetize what you love, what you want to share with more people. And you can't tell me that that doesn't make you happy. Because I mean, it's the most fulfilling thing ever. I mean, I love talking about this and I love educating about social media. So, yeah, like I'm in it for the long game.
Everybody who's heard him say you need to do 15 to 30 posts a day immediately turned him off and or went to social media and go, "Oh, he's just toxic hustle." No, he's telling you what you need to do. But they didn't like that answer, so they skipped and went to somebody else, and that
Yep.
proved, like you said in the very beginning, those people who did that, not his people. The people who listened to him and went that way, his people. So he didn't care. And yeah, literally one of my favorite people in the planet because he made a
Hmm.
video about a wine that I worked on way back in Wine Library TV.
Nice.
See, personal connection matters. The personal connection matters. All right, I'd love to know what are the most realistic and actionable monetization paths for podcasters. So, what are some of the paths that people should be looking at if we're bought in
Yeah,
on staying the course and of turning this into something profitable long term? Where should we start?
right. Okay, so you have your podcast right now. So if you have a podcast, obviously long form. From there, like this is being recorded right now, drop it in a software and create short form content out of it. There are literally plenty of softwares out there that do that by you uploading it, click of a button, 10 minutes later, it will give you between 5 and 20 clips that show you, first of all, the areas where you spoke the best, and there was not a couple of bloops, right? So those are all edited out already. There are different ones where it shows one speaker on the top, one on the bottom, and depending on who speaks, it changes. It has the captions in the middle already. Love that, right? I mean, it literally does all the work for you, because in 2025, you definitely don't want to work harder but smarter on this. And there's plenty of AI where you can take this, drop it in, it creates them for you, and then afterwards you can plug them into your Instagram, into your social media, TikTok, whatever it might be. So that's always a great way. And it is one of those ways where you want to in the end be able to create, or to create less, but use what you have and reuse it and recycle it.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe your podcast turns into, maybe there's really good information here and there, and you turn that into a mini course and you add on. Maybe you turn it into an ebook. Maybe you turn it into a digital product of some sort. And as I said earlier, right, from there, maybe you add affiliate links into it where we talk about, hey, this is the best mic that you should actually use, and I should use a different one. Maybe this is a really good software that I would recommend you using, such as Ecamm, for your podcast or for your recordings or for whatever you do out there. So that's where you can reuse content and actually work less because you already created it. Like there's no need in creating something over and over and over just to get it perfect. I mean, just get it out there. Done is better than perfect. And use it that way. Like
Yeah,
software is your friend.
we have this friend, shout out to Jeff C, who does a show for us called Social Media News Live, and he is like a wizard at this. Every time I think we're getting better, he's just like off and running. Where he takes those clips exactly as you just said, and he puts them through X and other platforms, but in this particular instance, they go out through X and he must do what, Doc, like 2 or 3 a day. Like and they're just on
easy.
repeat. Like the same one will come back up again, in a couple of weeks because he's got this huge, bank of videos because he's done so many episodes of his show at this point. And they I've seen most of the episodes and I still see the clips and I'm like, oh, right, I should check what Jeff's up to. Like, or I'll watch the clip all the way through and it's a valuable information that I had like forgotten about, or maybe, it reminds me that I need to check in with whoever his guest was on the show that day. So it even as someone who has already consumed that content, is already a fan of the show, like it's just a fantastic reminder. But if you had come to me and said, hey, Katie, I need you to post, 95 times a week on X with your show.
What you just said there
that would feel huge. Yeah.
But what you just said there was so important, right? Like he uses them because you have such a big content bank. You have all these podcasts, you have all of that. You can have so many of those videos. But the other thing is people always think, oh, I need to create something new. I need to stay on top of trends. I need to stay on top of this. And nobody wants to see it again. So first of all, based on literary psychology, and this is because I have a neuroscience background as well, and I'm really into that stuff. Like just because you watch and listen to this one time does not mean you're absorbing it. Like you sometimes need to watch it over and over. And so we are sharing a lot of information right now. If you watch just a short clip of that again, maybe then it sinks in. And then the other thing is, okay, go back to your analytics for 30 days and just look what performed well out of the content, the shorts that you created out of your podcast. Take the best 5 to 10, post them again. No harm, no foul in that, because just as Doc was saying, right? Who assumes that your entire audience already saw that? Like, no, like they haven't. Post it again. And if they see it again, if they have indeed seen it before, then they're like, oh yeah, that's something I should do because even though I saw it twice, now I still haven't done it.
Or they share it with a friend. I'm notorious for that. Like I've seen it. I enjoyed the episode and then I see the clip come up and I'm like, oh yeah, I was gonna send that over to a friend. So yeah, it feels weird. It feels like you are doing it too much because exactly as Doc was saying, that we assume that everyone sees it, but these days less and less and less and less people are actually seeing your content on all the different social platforms. So it's an important time for it for sure.
This is why I constantly say it, and everybody gets mad at me. Feelings are not facts. They just ain't. This is why you got to not have them. It's just, they're useless. They're messing you up. This is really, really cool. Completely side adjacent. Who's your favorite brain writer? Like Daniel Kahneman. Like I don't know. I didn't go to neuroscience school, but I love the brain. I love to study it. And I got addicted when I was a kid, and somebody says we only use 10% of the brain. That seems crazy. I was like, well, I want to use 50%, so let me go figure this out. And so I have been addicted to sort of brain writers. So who's your favorite brain writer?
Man, I can't even answer that. I have an entire bookshelf over here of stuff, and I'm like, But you know what? I don't think I have a favorite brain writer. I'm just really getting into like, okay, like which part of the brain does what? Like why are we so stuck in like comparison? Why are we afraid to step out? Because the people that I typically work with, they are right now in a 9 to 5. They are doing a job that they are most likely miserable in. And so yet while that is all true, they are so afraid to step out of that comfort zone and do something new. And so that's really the part of the brain science that I really enjoy, because so the psychology behind that is, right, we want to stay with the herd. Like, here's the herd. Here are we. If we're with the herd, everything's safe. If we have the job, everything is safe. If I'm out here doing my own thing on social media, first of all, they're going to judge me. And then the saber-toothed tiger is going to come and it's going to eat me and I'm going to be dead. Meanwhile, that thing doesn't exist anymore. And I might die from judgment from others if I let them actually get to me. But reality is like, I am totally safe out here and I'm probably happier. So the question is more like, how can we overcome all that procrastination that's holding us back, that feeling of, oh my God, I'm going to fail. Whereas I always say, fail is first attempt in learning, and fear is false evidence appearing real. I mean, these two,
Mm.
like, I live by those. And it's so true. Like, people just, they're so afraid of trying something new, of putting themselves out there just because they are overthinking and they're afraid of the judgment of others. Okay, then the question is how does this go, right? If you are literally miserable in your job right now and you're afraid of the judgment, what would you rather do? Try something on your own, put yourself out there, do it until until you succeed, or stay miserable and complain like everyone else and just die early. Let's just get
Nice.
dramatic here.
Nice. I put a link in the chat for anybody who cares. One of my favorite brain books is 7.5 Lessons About the Brain. It's
I'll have
by
to check that out.
Lisa Freeman something something. I should know the name of this. Anyway, incredible book. Like I just absolutely love these. So that's something that I'm super into, and now I'm into the Courage to Be Disliked because yeah, you
Ooh,
know me.
that's a good
Mm,
one.
Everything Japan is automatic in my brain. それが
nice.
もう一番いいかもしれません. All right, let's go. All
The
right, so
title of
What
that
next,
one
what
is
did you say?
perfect.
I what oh I just said like this is sort of like this is the way in a sense like this is how I do it. So
Nice. Respect.
yeah, thank you. I just love what you say because it's so the comparison thing. It's really nuts and
Mhm.
you have to ask yourself like why do we do this? And I often sometimes even like when I see a bunch of dogs or a bunch of cats or animals, I wonder if they do that, you know, like if they have that same sort of thing, or is it just something that's unique to us? Because it is probably one of the most crushing things to humans. And you mentioned it earlier, like what was that person's runway for them to be where
Mm.
they are, for you to think that you can't get there? You
Mhm.
might be better. And the reason why we have an iPhone is because Steve was crazy enough to look at 245 different other phones out there and went like, nah, that's not it. Let me do this. And the reason why we have an Android phone is somebody said, well, Steve's way was cool, but what if we made it more available to people who want to do this or people who just hate Apple? Like, what if we did that? And then, okay,
Yep.
so that worked. You know, so you probably are sitting on a gold mine and are freaking yourself out for nothing.
Mhm.
And the person that you're comparing yourself to, they don't know you. So what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy.
I know. Oh, it's absolutely crazy. I mean, the mind can drive you absolutely nuts. And here's a funny story that, I mean, this is unrelated, but it totally plays into this topic. So when I started out, I invested in my first mentor. I felt good about the investment. I felt really good, really confident. $10,000, okay, big investment, but still, I felt good because it was a year-long program. All good. Then from there, we did a kitchen remodel and our kitchen broke. And the backsplash fell onto the countertop, fell onto the stovetop, everything broke. And all of a sudden there was another 10K in expenses. And then one of the companies wanted to sue us. And then all of a sudden all this money added up. And my mind went into absolute scarcity. And I went down the rabbit hole of like, oh my God, everything's falling apart. We're gonna lose the house. Blah, 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 blah. And it was just a negative spiral that took me so far down. And then I was like, okay, wait a moment. Like, can they actually sue us for what they sent this email about? And I was like, wait, this sounds fishy. I was like, okay, that's not even real. Like, that was literally a threat that they did. Also not cool. But I realized like my mind was just off the rails, completely losing it in that scarcity loop of like everything's going down, everything's horrible. I just invested. How horrible was that? I should have never done that. And I was like, no, like I stand behind that. This was a good investment. Like the companies, they were shitty, but side story, right? And your mind will control you. if you are not controlling it, which is so important that you, maybe it's, whatever works for people. Maybe it is meditation, maybe it's visualization, maybe it's writing out your negative thoughts, maybe it's gratitude practice. I mean, I love Bob Proctor, like one of my favorite people, where he always said, be grateful for 10 things every day, send love to 3 people you hate, and ask for guidance for 5 minutes. I mean, that right there is
So good.
magic.
That is
Dang,
magic.
I gotta send some love to Jeremy and Luis then. I'm joking.
Stop it.
I was like, she said all these things that you could do to coach. She didn't say anything about the single malt, Doc. Like, I guess I better stop that one.
Do you have, so I'm trying to think about kind of our average, I shouldn't say average, but like our group of podcasters, and even putting like in my own mind, how do you think through coming up with your first offer? So, maybe they're out creating content, they're building their show, and they're helping people and they're teaching people. How do you go about thinking through like, okay, what is that thing that I could sell if it's not
Hmm.
a sponsorship, or it's not, one of those things, or maybe it's not affiliate marketing. So not the two kind of obvious
Yeah.
options out there. What are some ways that people can think about what's sellable in their content?
So I'm a huge fan of creating your own offers, first of all, because reselling stuff does not work that well. I mean, you're not connected to it, like create your own. It's not as hard as you think. And this question is amazing because the answer is ask them. Simply ask them, like literally. So here you are on social media, okay? Or on your podcast, or if you stream it to YouTube. Drop right there, hey, what is it that you really want to know about this topic that I'm typically talking about? And they will tell you. They will tell you. And then you create content around that. Not the other way around, because so many people think, oh my God, I have this great idea. I want to do this, this, this. Then you spend 3 to 5 months on it, maybe less, maybe more, who knows? Then you're overthinking. Then there's a procrastination of it has to be perfect before I put it out there. Instead, and then you put it out there and nobody buys it because they're like, well, but I really know that? I don't know if that's for me. Okay, like do it the other way around. Like literally ask them, like, what is it that you need? What is it that you want? What do you want to hear more about when it comes to podcasting? And then from there, create exactly that.
I love that. I think it's so huge. And again, takes us back to what matters in the end is really thinking through building, and Doc calls it a community and not just an audience, but thinking through your community, your people, and what they actually need and want.
Yeah.
Huge.
Because they're
Absolutely.
attracted to you, right? They're attracted to you for a certain reason. Like I can offer exactly the same as someone else, but that someone else isn't talking like me, isn't doesn't have the same background like me. I mean, I'm from Germany, that's where the accent is from, so I know I have that. I'm pretty direct, which some people like and others don't like at all. Because that's just
You're in
me,
a
right?
safe space here. we're all about the
Meanwhile, it's on
directness.
YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah.
See,
But
I
yes,
gotta
right?
start claiming that I'm German then, because I'm
Yeah, I was
super
gonna
direct,
say,
and everybody's like, "Oh,
Doc is a
you're
little
so
German.
mean." I will say my three best friends are German, and we basically talk to them. I have my text group with them is called sauerkrauts because they're always cranky. So
Sauerkrauts. That's awesome.
sorry, Jerome and
Yeah.
Topher, in case you're listening.
But there's a really funny, I think it was a reel that was created a while ago. So in Germany, there's this big castle, right, the Neuschwanstein, and Americans would stand there and be like, "Oh my God, it's so pretty! Look at that! Oh my goodness, it's amazing!" And a German would stand in front of it and be like, "Oh my God, I don't want to clean the windows in that." I found that was the most German thing ever.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
Relatable.
like,
goodness.
Relatable. Uh, all right, we have some lightning round questions new for
ooh,
us. Are you ready
I
for
like
some snappy fast questions?
maybe, I don't know. Let's see.
All right, here we go. Favorite tool for repurposing content?
Uh, Opus AI from long form to short form.
That's one of ours too. Yeah, and in Ecamm, you can actually just send your videos right through into Opus. So awesome. I
Nice.
love it. The platform you're most excited about right now?
Still Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a TikTok person. have tried several times. Doesn't really resonate with me. And it from Instagram, it just posts automatically to Facebook, which I always feel like Facebook is a little neglected for me, but even though I have like 3,000 followers there, but still love you guys. Just follow me on Instagram.
You have the background. Doc, what about you? What's the platform you're most excited about right now?
YouTube.
YouTube.
You know that full stop. It's all about YouTube.
All right. One monetization myth that you think should be busted.
That you need a large following to make money.
That's a good one. Doc, do you have one?
100% the same. You know, or the YouTube algorithm is going to save you. I need to get to those 4,500. No, you don't.
Yeah, the
You can start
algorithm will
today.
save me. Yeah, the
Yeah.
algorithm will save me. Definitely. All right, Connie, one word to describe your marketing style. I think you already said it, but what's one word to describe your marketing style?
Okay, here's a question. What do you think it is? When you said I already said it, that's an interesting one.
I would go with direct.
Yes. That's where I was going when I was like, I don't know what she thinks. Yes.
Doc, same question, but one word to describe your podcasting style.
Um, brutally honest.
I like it. I like it. The two of you, you might need to do a show together. All right, let's do Doc first on this last one because I'm sure he's got a good one here. Your go-to pick-me-up content creator. Who's the one you watch when you need a pick-me-up?
Oh my
Or
God, I
listen
have
to,
so
I
many.
suppose.
I'm kind of with Luis. I do one of two things. If I'm trying to be like picked up to go move around, I need activity. I'll pick, just random comedy streams, and I'll just pick comedians: Nate Bargatze, John McElhaney,
Mulaney.
not Rob McElhaney. Sorry, man, I can't even say the boy's name now.
John Mulaney, Rob
John
Mac.
Mulaney, thank you. I was trying to say that, but I was thinking Rob McElhaney because, of course, I watch Wrexham all the time. And then the other thing I watch, if I'm trying to be relaxed, but I just want to be in my happy space, I watch these Japan streamers who walk around in the quiet neighborhoods, not showing you all the tourist attraction, and I can just watch them, and it helps my listening too, so that I don't lose my ability to speak. So that's what I do. I did it yesterday, actually.
That's awesome. Connie, how about you? Do you have a go-to or couple go-tos?
Mm, I love Shamina Taylor just because she's very much out there when it comes to like spirituality, money mindset, wealth mindset, and how to do all that. Um, Alex Hermosi, just because I think his communication is so clear and direct, and you either resonate with him or you don't. And honestly, Gary Vee too, because I feel like, he says it how it is.
He says it how it is. Absolutely. There's something just really refreshing about people that just
Hmm.
just tell it as it is. Tell it as it is. All right. Well, we somehow, I'm always blown away. We're like nearing the end of the show, but I want to make sure we don't forget to let people know where they can connect with you and learn more. And I know because I was just involved in one that you do a lot of your own events as well. So let us know how people can connect with you and find you.
Yep. So I don't have an online event coming up, but once in a while, typically 2 times a year, I do a virtual summit. You can find me on all social media platforms except for TikTok as
Don't
work
look there.
on as work with Connie. That is work as you spell it with just behind it, and Connie is Conny because German and we do the Y at the end and not the IE. And then from there, check out the freebie I have. I have a 3 steps to create your first six-figure product online, and that's a phenomenal way to at least look into how you can do that because monetizing social media should be easy and fun and not destroy your time. And really consider social as an asset for your business.
I absolutely love it. This was so motivating. I thought we would be like, I don't know. In my mind, I was like, okay, we'll talk about monetization. We'll talk, but this ended up just being like a really inspirational. I'm feeling all psyched, which is impressive on a Tuesday after a long weekend for us to feel
Right,
this
right.
energized.
When you think about it, if you're putting out good content, right? And I think this thing is still hard because we all say this, and I was like, well, define good content. I can't tell you that. Your audience can. Because what's good for my audience will not work with yours, right? If you got a bunch of great, like swishy people, and you come in yelling and screaming and telling them to get up and dust it off and stop being a wimp, that's not going to work for your people. So, like, good
There's
content
the
is up
door.
to, yeah, it's up to your audience, right? And I'm so glad that Connie said it. You really do have to ask them and say, well, what if I don't have an audience yet? Then just be you,
And they
and
will
then
find
they
you.
will find you. Look at that. That was on point. That was like absolutely on point. That's super funny.
Yeah,
I said
because I
squishy,
mean,
not
people.
swishy, Paul. Squishy.
I mean, people will smell if it's so to say smell, right? If you're just putting out wishy-washy content, if you're not yourself, if you're trying to be someone else online, like just be who you are because it makes it so much easier and stop overthinking what to put out, what content to put out there because it can literally be as easy as, grab the phone, talk and put it out there or just film B-roll. I mean, we didn't even touch on all of that. Um, B-roll plus a hook plus a caption and
Hmm.
you're done in minutes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Because people
one
love
of
to
our
be
buddies that
nosy.
we love, she
Do love to be nosy.
basically we did it last week actually. Thank you, Caleb. She puts her Osmo in the corner and puts it on time lapse and just sits there and works at her desk for a while, and then you take that sort of you sped up for the day, and you could put on whatever your go to quote at the moment is, right? And
Mhm.
so I just made
That's
a
smart.
video day before yesterday talking about Viktor Frankl's like the success lives between the stimulus and the response. So I could legit just put that statement there and just let it float with the lo-fi, or I can put an example over the next say like 15 seconds. That's a short, and you didn't say anything. You just sat there and worked. It's a time lapse
Yeah.
of you working, or a time lapse of Katie playing with the ducks in the duck pond, or cleaning the chicken thingy. What do you call it? Coop.
Coop.
Yeah. It could have been us having a horrible dart game while her husband is killing me and Ken, and us throwing darts into his wall. Sorry, Dane. But it could just be anything, and you just put. You see
Mhm.
this all the time. You're gonna open your feed right now. Everybody right now will open their feed. The fifth poll would be somebody saying nothing, doing something at high speed, or looking at the lovely view of the Rhine somewhere, and they're just writing on it, and those get tons of views.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, there's kind of no
And people,
excuse for it.
and the other thing, right, is what I was touching on. People love B-roll because they get to see your life, and everyone is nosy, and they're like, "Ooh, what does your living room look like? Is that cleaned up? How's your garden looking?" Like, I mean, it's just reality, right? They also want to get to know you and see who you are and see if that's relatable with them.
Yeah.
Dude,
Absolutely.
B-roll of you organizing your books, Katie.
Something I
No,
do
for real.
often.
Katie has an amazing book collection. So you can just be
Nice.
like looking in there like what to read, and you could pull one down slowly and open it up, and
Mm.
then just right above it like these are the 5 things that I'm reading right now.
Yeah, I hadn't.
Hmm.
And then
I always forget that is like a thing. I feel like I spent a lot of time thinking about like live content or overly produced content that sometimes I
Yeah.
miss those moments because I'm like, oh, I can't right now because like the kids will run in or like I'm in the middle of doing stuff, so I can't like create a video in this space right now. But I could if it was just a time lapse. So that's a good
man,
reminder.
Hmm.
tell you
Or
what,
B-roll.
you know what your son is the perfect tripod for that 30-second video you need to film
It's
of
true.
you,
It's true.
He's like,
right?
"Here,
It's
hold
true.
this,"
I,
Yeah,
and it will be
exactly.
like
shaky, which is actually a thing right now.
actually no,
You've seen
he's
these
he's an
where
engineer.
where
He's
it
part
starts
German.
shaky.
He's part
He is
German.
he
Yeah.
is such an engineer. I swear he's part German. His video would be rock solid straight. It would look like it was done by Martin Scorsese. Like
Yeah.
he's the
Probably.
he's the perfection kid.
Nice,
Probably.
nice.
Now the artist kid, you'll get some cool angles, but it's okay. Put him anyway.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh,
tell
this
her I
was
said
so
that.
helpful. I so
But literally,
appreciate.
Katie, for you, you could do like, grab that book, just as Doc was saying, from there, open it up, put like five best books to read in the next half year. Look in the caption, give some explanation.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mm,
By the way,
perfect.
if you need
Absolutely
any
perfect.
hooks or content ideas, I have
I
an
know. I'm
entire digital
already.
product
Yeah.
around that.
I was gonna say I'm already over there.
Okay, I want to know about the hooks link. Let's go. Let's go get those because I was talking to my people
Yeah.
about hooks just the other
Workwithconny.com.
day.
Dang it.
Yes.
I
All
was
right.
not
Yeah.
Paul
prepared for
put it
that.
in there.
Okay.
Paul put it in there. Make sure you go check that
Um,
out, guys. Anybody who saw my hook video, if you want to be lazy about it, go see Connie's hook thing
Yeah.
because there you go. She'll help you.
Absolutely.
man, we
Absolutely.
did not plan this. Okay, give me 1 second.
Connie will just be building it in the background while
It's
we're
like,
closing out.
yeah, I'm building it while we're talking. No, I did not do that.
This
Here,
is so good. This was really, really good. People,
there
I,
you
I
go.
kind of really enjoy these
Perfect.
conversations. Like they're just good. Amazing.
Perfect. All right, let me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna copy this across so that Paul can.
But no, I mean, just the quick note there, right? Think about what makes sense for your audience. I mean, a hook can be anything from the 5 best ways to do X. This is what I found out after doing this wrong for so long, right? You want to have, and we didn't go into depth here, but leave them hanging, right? It's the cliffhanger of like what makes a reel interesting, what makes a carousel interesting. Like, how do you keep their attention and actually make them want to read the caption instead of just keep scrolling because their attention span is short? Like, you want to keep them.
Absolutely.
So good, so good. Listen, people, you're good. I did a time lapse of me cleaning out my drawer. That's actually cool, man,
That's
because
perfect.
with being the planners and stuff, everyone's always the people who plan like your planner stuff looks so straight, and we all dream for that. So even though most people can't get there, I still watch those. I watch people with their fancy bujos, bullet journals, and I have all of the bullet journal, bought my Lustrums, and I got my rulers and everything, and mine never look like that. Mine just becomes
Yep,
a
mine either.
hodgepodge of messy writing and like 87 colors of fountain pen. But you know what? It works for me.
Exactly. Exactly.
Today is refill
Awesome.
day, so you can see blue
Today's
fingers. Some
refill
coming
day. I
up
was
soon.
Got your crazy fingers. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Connie, for joining us today. I learned a ton, and I'm excited to jump back and grab that.
Thank you.
I shared the link with Paul so he can put it out to everyone, but it's just workwithconnie.com/IG bundle will get you all of that awesomeness. So make sure you click over and grab that. It's a perfect way to spend your Tuesday after a long weekend if you were here in the States with us. So
Exactly.
definitely. Awesome. Well, this show, if you want to check it out, more episodes, you can find us over at flow.ecam.com. The episodes go out across YouTube and Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Amazon and everywhere in between. And this episode and many of our episodes are sponsored by our friends over at Shure. If you're looking for a new mic like Connie, you can swing over to shure.com and check out some of the awesome options there. We're big fans of the MV6 and the MV7i, but their obviously SM7B is best in class if you're gonna get all the way to pro podcaster level if you can unlock that feature. And hopefully you'll join us again for our next live recording. We record live on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube, and then the episodes pop out the following Tuesday across all those different podcast players. What I missed, Doc? I took over.
I nailed it. I was just like, man, Katie with the live read. 10 out of 10. No notes. She ate. Go for seconds. Come on.
I told you at this time of day I'm getting hungry, so we're gonna be snappy on the wrap up. We promised
Maybe it's
Connie we'd get
hangry.
her off. No, takes a lot to get me to hangry level.
Oh, you're in the good office too. You can go get one of those Italian sandwiches from that one spot by the Starbucks.
I could.
I'm jealous now.
Send one over.
Well, everyone, hopefully you enjoy your morning or your lunch or anything in between when you're listening to us. And we'll have to have Connie back again next time or a future time for sure. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Thank
Doc,
you.
you can do our outro.
Okay, I gotta learn how to do this in German. All I know in German is, nichts verstanden in Deutsch. Auf Wiedersehen. Flow Riders, out!
Out. Bye, everyone.